Hello and welcome friends. Today we are going to start Unit 4 in Business Communication. In Unit 4 we will be discussing the different types of official correspondence. You would recall that in Unit 3 we have discussed the commercial correspondences, right? So let's first understand what are the different kinds of commercial correspondences. Commercial correspondence we have already discussed. We have talked about letters which are used in course of business, and we have seen that generally these letters are sent to, these correspondences are made to other stakeholders in the business. It could be your customer, it could be your supplier, the government, the regulatory agencies, it could be your customer as well, it could be your banker, the person or the entity or the organization who is financing your business. So these are called commercial letters. Now what do we mean by official correspondence? Official correspondence is the correspondence which is generally meant for the employees within the organization, generally, by and large, not always. So generally it is meant for employees within the organization. Generally it is meant for circulation within the organization, while the business or the commercial correspondence was actually meant for other stakeholders in the business outside the organization. Like I said, suppliers or customers or government or regulatory agencies. So this is the broad difference, and in the next session that we'll have, we'll certainly be talking about the difference in official correspondences as well as and the business correspondence or the commercial correspondence that we have discussed in Unit 3. But in today's lecture, since we have been discussing letters in Unit 3, I'll again start off with letters only, but this time these are generally letters which are basically goodwill letters, which we'll be discussing today, right? So let us have an understanding what do we mean by goodwill. Now goodwill, what do we mean by goodwill? I hope you understand that this is an intangible asset. People think highly of your organization, of your brand. This is called your goodwill, and many times goodwill helps an organization win over customers, increase profits, right? So goodwill is also very, very important. Now these letters are not meant for any business per se. They are not being sent for any business purpose per se. They are being sent to ensure that you have a goodwill among the customers or maybe among the suppliers or among some other entities, and that is why they have been clubbed not into business or commercial correspondence but in official correspondences, right? Now let us understand what do we mean by goodwill letters. First kind of goodwill letters, we are only going to discuss a few types. There are so many types of goodwill letters, but we are going to discuss only 4 or 5 of them. Letter of appreciation. So you are appreciating somebody. Whom are you going to appreciate? By and large, generally it is your own employees for some task done well, for some job done well, for doing something really good for the organization, for his contribution to the organization. So these are called goodwill letters, which are meant to appreciate somebody, letters of appreciation. Now this is an example of a letter of appreciation. We are not taking into account the various parts of the letter. We are only going to discuss the main body of such letters. Your performance has been instrumental in the company achieving. Now this would be a part of the letter which you would be sending to one of our employees, and we'll tell him that your performance has been instrumental in the company achieving its sales target, and the management puts on record its appreciation for your diligence. Diligence means hard work and dedication, wishing you success in all your future endeavors. Now this would be the main body of such a goodwill letter, of a letter of appreciation. Is that okay? So let me reiterate that I'm not going to deal with the different parts of the letter, the sender's address, the reference number, the date and all that stuff. I'm only going to discuss the main body of such letters today. So this is how you have to design the main body of your goodwill letter, of a letter of appreciation, right? Another type of goodwill letter, letters of sympathy. Now it may so happen that some employee of yours has met an accident, or maybe he has his parents have died, or maybe he might have come across some problem. So in such cases you have to write a letter of sympathy. Sahanubhuti is the word in Hindi for sympathy, so you have to write sympathy letters. So these are also goodwill letters, because when you write a sympathy letter, the other party, there would be a goodwill generated in the other party, that okay, this guy is concerned about me. So that is why it is also a goodwill letter. Now have a look at letters of sympathy. The management means the organization's management, expresses its heartfelt condolences on the untimely demise of your grandfather. Demise means death. So it's a letter of sympathy which has been written to express sympathy for an employee whose father has died or whose grandfather has died. And we are saying heartfelt condolences. Dukh. Condolences means dukh. On the untimely means before time. Maybe he was not of the age in which generally people die. So that is why we are using the word untimely. Another type of goodwill letter is congratulatory letter. Many a times we might want to congratulate one of our employees, right? I have come to know that you are being conferred the Nobel Award. Again, all the information which has been given here is fictitious, so don't think that I have actually used some real life information or some information corresponding to reality. So I have come to know that you are being conferred the Nobel Award. I congratulate you warmly on this grand achievement and wish you many more success in future. This could be a letter which is being sent by the organization to one of his employees, since the employee has won the Nobel Award or maybe some other award also. So such kind of goodwill letters are known as congratulatory letters. So this is how you can design the body of the congratulatory letter. Now, invitation to function. Many a times you also invite the members of your organization to some function, right? Why are you doing this? Not because you want to transact any business with them, but you want to have good relationship with them and you want your goodwill to be generated, and that is why it is also clubbed into goodwill letters. Now, invitation to function. How do you write? How do you design these kind of letters? We would like to have the pleasure of your company on this occasion. What do we mean by your company? We would like to have you on this occasion. Company means aapka saath. So here we are saying that we would like to have you present on this occasion, this happy occasion, requesting you to kindly confirm your acceptance of this invitation. Now this line, why has this particular line been put? We simply want whether the other party has accepted our invitation or whether he is unable to come, and so he has expressed his inability to come to the function. Because we also have to plan as to how many people would turn up for the function and how many, for example, how many people would be there for whom the food has to be cooked, right? So we want that the other party should also give us some confirmation whether they would turn up for the function or not. That is why this particular line has been mentioned towards the end, right? Otherwise, you may decide not to put this line. You may only have this particular line. We would like to have the pleasure of your company on this occasion. So this is to let you know that we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the setting up of our institution, and we would like to have you on this particular occasion. So this could be the main body of this particular kind of letter, which is basically an invitation to some function, right? So this is how you would be drafting the goodwill letters. All other things like the use of full block form, for example, like the use of references, like the use of dates and the sender's address and the salutation, all other things would be same. The only thing that you have to take care of is this particular language that you will be using while you are writing goodwill letters. Fine. So this is how you write goodwill letters. Please understand that generally these kind of goodwill letters, generally, not always, आम तौर पे हमेशा नहीं, तो आम तौर पे यानी generally they are sent to your own employees, and that is why we are grouping them under official correspondence. However, it may so happen that you might want to send this kind of a letter to your customer also, or maybe to your supplier also, or maybe to, let's say, the district magistrate also, because you have to liaison with district magistrate for various business purposes. So in such case, these kind of letters would still be known as goodwill letters, because they are not being done to transact any business, and they would be called goodwill letters, but they are not meant for any business transaction, so they cannot be termed as business correspondence. Is that fine? Okay. Now let me move forward to some other types of letters. So we are discussing some other types of letters which are generally sent also. Now this is an appointment letter. Naturally you would not be sending this letter to your own employee, you would be sending to a prospective employee whom you have selected for a particular job profile, and you are just conveying to him that he has been appointed. Now have a look at the language here. With reference to your application, we are pleased to offer you appointment to the post of Deputy Manager Operations at a gross salary of rupees 8,20,000 per annum. You can also get this kind of a salary if you really do work hard and really prepare yourself well, right? So somebody has been appointed as Deputy Manager Operations and he is being offered a salary of rupees 8,20,000 per annum per year, which means that this person has already probably been selected after the selection process. He has already been through the selection process and has been selected, and now you are just communicating to him that you have been appointed. You are requested to confirm your acceptance of the offer at the earliest. So we are also asking him to confirm whether he would be actually joining or not, he would be taking up this appointment or not, because he may not be interested in this particular position anymore, or he might also have got a job offer from some other company. So we are asking him, if you want to join, just let us know, because if he does not join, I have to have somebody else joining him. So I have to arrange some replacement. For example, if I want somebody at this particular post, Deputy Manager Operations, and if the guy whom I have selected, he does not join, I need somebody else then. So if this particular guy tells me in advance that he is not interested in joining, I may start the recruitment process for selecting some other individual for this particular position, and that is why I am asking him to confirm your acceptance. So I am telling him, please confirm your acceptance so that we are sure that you are joining. And in case you are joining, present yourself for formal joining on 8th of June 2021 at 11 AM at the Gurgaon office. So do come on this particular date to Gurgaon office, where your formal joining process would be held. Fine. So this is how you write the appointment letters. And if you really work hard, you would get number of such appointment letters in your life from different organizations, and you will be spoiled for choice. But for that, you will have to work really hard. Now, let me give you another example of a miscellaneous letter. Confirmation letter. What happens? Please understand, what do we mean by confirmation? Generally, once you are appointed to an organization, you are not straight away confirmed. You are put into a 6 months or maybe 3 months, or generally it is 1 year probation. So you are being put into probation for 1 year or maybe 2 years also at times. That is why when you go for banks at the managerial level, the entry level position is known as probationary officer. Why? Because he is a manager, he is an officer, but he is under probation for the first 2 years of his career in that particular bank, and that is why the designation is probationary officer. And that is why you see PO, post of bank PO have been shown, have been advertised. So now I hope you understand that what do we mean by a bank PO, a probationary officer. Now what do we need probation for? We are not confirming once the individual has been appointed. We are not confirming him straight away. We are probing him. Probing means we are closely monitoring how he is performing. If he performs up to the mark for the next 1 year, for the duration of his probation, then he will be confirmed. If he does not, then he would not be confirmed. Generally people get confirmed, right? It hardly happens in maybe 1 in 1,000 or 10,000 cases that somebody has performed so poorly as that he is not being confirmed, but generally people get confirmed. So this is the confirmation letter that you send when you are confirming somebody on a particular position, right? Then we have the promotion letters. What do we mean by promotion letters? You know already, if somebody is getting promoted, then we are going to use promotion letters, and again we can use the same kind of language and we would congratulate him on his performance and we would congratulate him on getting promoted to the next level in the organization, right? So these are called promotion letters, and many a times we also use warning letters also in the organization. If the employees are not working hard enough, the first thing you do is you issue a verbal warning. You only warn him verbally. बोल के ही warn कर देंगे. लेकिन if he still does not mend his ways, the second option for you is that you go for a written warning, right? So such warning letters are also at times written in the organizations. Now have a look at this kind of a warning letter. It has been brought to my notice, the manager is writing this to the employee, that you have been repeatedly proceeding on leave without intimating the supervisor. So some employee has been going on leave without informing the supervisor. Generally in organizations, when you go on a leave, you have to inform the supervisor in advance. You cannot straight away go on a leave without informing anybody, because then the work would get held up and no organization wants that. So you have to apply for leave in advance. Only in emergency you can proceed on leave without informing the supervisor, but then too you have to inform the supervisor, though you have proceeded on leave, but just let the supervisor know. So this person has not been doing that, right? So it has been brought to my notice. So the manager is telling him that I have come to know that you have been repeatedly going on leave without intimating the supervisor. And now he is issued the warning here. Please note that this incident of gross indiscipline, gross means of very high intensity, indiscipline of high intensity on your part has been taken serious note of by the management, which means the management has actually found out that you are indulging in this kind of indiscipline and has noted it for future record. Any repetition in future therefore may invite strict penal action on you or against you also, you can write. So any repetition in future, if you repeat the same thing in future, if you still continue to proceed on leave without informing the supervisor, you may be you may have to suffer, you may be inviting some penal action. What do you mean by penal action? Penal action means some kind of penalty, right? So this is the warning letter that has been sent by the manager to an employee who has been repeatedly going on leaves without informing his supervisor in advance. Is that okay? So this is why warning letters, this is how you write warning letters. And just a small discussion on the sidelines. Since this is not allowed in organizations to go on leave without informing the supervisors in advance, in management organizations, in management institutions, in management education institutions like ours, we also tend to follow the same practice. The practice is the same, be it the faculty, be it the student. The faculty goes on leave, employs the HOD, employs the principal right in the beginning that we are going to avail our casual leave tomorrow, right? Likewise, the students, whenever they go on leave, they have to actually inform the faculty members, the concerned faculty members, right in advance. Is that fine? And this is the practice. This is the reason why we follow this practice here, because we are preparing you for jobs in such organization where proceeding on leave without prior intimation is considered an instance of gross indiscipline, right? So thank you very much for your time. Tomorrow onwards, we'll start discussion on some other tools that we have for official correspondence. Thank you very much.